Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the breakfast show. That's right, Trading Idea with SMARTRobie. I'm your host, Martin Wong. And after a good break, the public holiday that we have experienced, we also see a lot of COVID cases, right? And the COVID cases has broken above the 3,000 cases, and I think that's not really good news in the long run, as we can see also what's happening in India, where they have this extremity of shortage of beds, oxygens. You can see all that. Hopefully, Malaysia able to handle it well going forward in there. With the festive season in here, so I do hope that many of you would have stayed home and actually stayed safe, so you're able to have a better, safer journey across this year of 2021. Now that's something which I hope for, and also we also hope that our market, the KLCI market, continue to break higher. Let's take a look at what we have for you this morning in our breakfast show. That's right. Now, as usual, today we are on the Friday session, and usually on our Friday session we'll be looking at other section, which is the advanced. And of course, don't forget to be our top fans, and many of you who are our members in here are really the top fans. We really appreciate and thank you for being it, and continue your support for us, and do share and do like in all our posts, and you'll get 300 SMARTRobie credit, and this will go on to April and June. And don't forget, today is Friday, and that's what we were looking at, the charge setup and the premium alert that we have last week also, and also the advanced setting in here. All right, that will be what we have. And of course, let's look at the Bursa Malaysia morning headlines roundup. All right, and our first roundup in here in the morning is what we talk about, the regional recovery that we've seen in our market in here. Let's take a look at where our market in, and this is the chart that you see. And switching to a wider chart here, we could see the 1620 has pretty much reflected to it. You can see the trade for the March has surged to a new high, and the first time our monthly export breaching the 100 billion in here. So that's also tell you that the overall, the biggest consumer market in the world, US, continue to recover. We have seen also the surge in lumber, steel, right? Lumber, steel, a lot of construction that is ongoing in the US section, because due to the 2.4 trillion Biden infrastructure project, and that's going to be spurring it. But it's very important that we need to take out on, you can see on the right hand side of the screen here, breakout above the 1640. We have a 2-bar reversal, you can see reached just shortly in here, followed by a nice spring in here, which means there is a support right now at least 1600. This morning, let's look at this morning where we are, and you can see this morning we are down 6.1602, so the 1600 seems to be good support in here. And let's also look at some of the more active stocks, and usually they are penny stocks. VC Heptek, that's right, Heptek is one of our trade idea this morning for premium alert. We're going to share you in the later part of the show. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing also this in here. We have TGL, Pet Chemicals, Nestle, LC Titan seems to be the big gainer in here, and also because it is just reported a good earnings, we're going to be looking into that too. And FNN and Hong Leong Finance Group seems to be some of the big decliner in here. All right, let's move on to our next section in here. Now, next section is what I've just talked about the rise in the steel prices in here, where we see a big uptick in the infrastructure spending that we see in US. So having said that, we have a lot of cements are doing well, the Southern Steels are doing well, the Leader Steels are doing well, and this is actually a segment on the Leader Steel. So let's talk a Leader Steel, LC Steel. Okay, hit that one, and you can see right now the stock chart for the steel, it's really nicely making a good base in here. Some stocks, I think that was started by one of the prominent investor, has shot up a lot. That's another steel stock. So a lot of the steel stocks are going up. So you can see this Leader Steel in here building up a nice base, and just above you there is a no supply. That tells you this market has a good chance of going up. Let's take a look at what it is this morning here, and looking at the live stock price. It is down 2.52% in here. Let's look at the other one that I saw also is the Southern Steel, which we do have for our Pentagon Guider trade, right? The Pentagon Guider trade, we're still holding this one in here, Southern Steel, and we bought it at our first green Pentagon. Let's look at the stock chart in here, and you can see that's the one that we had sometime further back there. And this market, you can see in here, hit the all high. We have 2 up thrusts and looking to go. And let's see this morning, where is Southern Steel? Okay, Southern Steel is up 5% in here. Very nicely done, up 5%. And we hope that the leader steel that you see on this right hand side will continue to follow that too in here. So steel is good, cement is good. So if you have those stocks, continue to have them run in here. Now let's turn at something that is more defensive in nature. That's right, that is definitely our Nestle. That's right. So Nestle continue to enjoy a buoyancy revenue in here. Top line raised about 1.5 billion here. But having said that, this is more generally for a share for those of you who are looking for yield and looking for some stability in here, a defensive play in here, and you're not going to expect the kind that's going to run up like steel, or the kind of going to shoot up like technology or the rubber glove in here. So having said that, let's look at the stock fundamentals that we have for Nestle here. And you could see it's rated 5. Okay, that means it is pretty much a very good value play in here. Pays 1.7% dividend, so dividend hasn't been kind of that great in here. Let's look at the chart wise in here. Of course, you can see major shareholders are EPF and also State Street, which means many of the foreign funds are holding in here. And something I also talked about on Wednesday during our deep value investing, right? About the institutional being one of the major holder. Remember what I said that? All right. So make sure those of you who have joined us during the deep discount value investing, I talk about this key point that you should always look at the top shareholders, and that top shareholders has a particular impact to how much that the market can go higher. These are little small nuggets I think will definitely help you in your portfolio too. Now, let's also move on to the stock chart, and let me just show you the stock chart here. And you can see, having said that, if you look, the way Nestle is, it hasn't gone anywhere. It just sort of moved around 136, 139 in here. And hopefully when we do get out and the attention is turned into what we call this food and beverages sectors, then we can see pretty much going up in here. Let's move on to our next story here. So our next story is on Telecom Malaysia. Now, having said that, Telecom Malaysia has been the downtrend. Let's put in TM, and we hit the send, going to stock chart here. All right, and you can see switching to a wider chart. And so far, Pentagon guider has been pretty decent since, again, looking on the right hand side, the red Pentagon coming out around 6.20. It is down below $6 in here, and Telecom is looking to have a better revenue growth for 2021 back on the required, and also internet. They're doing a lot of what they call the transformation program 2021-2023. Now take a look. Utilities, which is we think about Telecom Malaysia, generally falls under what we call the so-called bit defensive in the nature, and you're not going to get the kind of rise that we'd seen during the recovery back in February. That was when the old high that they had around, let me just pitch this up, you can see this, right? And when they hit the old high around 6 ringgit 80 cents, now it's been trading below $6 in here. And maybe is this a dividend play? Let's take a look at it in here. Hit that one. Go to stock fundamentals for Telecom Malaysia, and we can see it is 2.3% dividend, right, which is about in par with the sector average at 2.56, giving a rating of 1 out of 8 here. All right, so that's the story that we have for you on Telecom. Now, next story will be the poultry farmer, chicken manufacturer, which is based off in Kalimantan. That's right. All right, in the Indonesia, Pontianak in here. Group Managing Director Tiong Chong Hyun saying that the sausage consumption during this COVID, especially from Jakarta, are doing well in here. And let's take a look at CCK. And I think CCK has already made up its move because being a very penny stock. So these are the stocks that are generally easier to push. Let's take a look at the chart here, and you will see this stocks hitting to a wider chart and went through a very nice meteoric rise way back in February. all right, and around 56 hitting 72, and you could see on the right hand side the red pentagon comes down and continue to fall. So it's definitely profit taking. Now this news in here, would it cause the price to go up? All right, nope, it still remain what it is. So if you have CCK early on good news, learn to take profit. All right, now the next segment of the story is going to be on Lotte Chemical, which actually posts a record quarterly net profit. Now we also seen that earlier on, isn't it? Today being the big net gainer in here. Let me just scroll back up here. You could see the earlier portion. That's right, in the big gainer you can see item number 4 on the right hand side being LCC Thai Chemical. So smart money usually take these preferences to distribute under the disguise of good news. You all remember Hatta back in August and also September, and all the rubber glove maker making historical return, hitting high, and guess what? Boom, 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 down all the way. Now, if you have Lotte Chemical, let's look at Lotte Chemical with the LC Titan in here, right? And actually the best time to buy it is actually when it turned green pentagon. You can see in here, very nicely done. And right now you have climatic volume with the upthrust, and this morning seems to be so. Usually on climatic volume, the markets tend to distribute on good news because many of the people, not you guys, right? You people know about smart money. You people are using SMARTRobie. You know how to read some of the chart. Of course, those of you who want to upgrade your skill, check us out, our June intake, and right now we are doing a combo Raya deal for 2% for a price, all right, for a very good price in here to learn more about volume spread analysis, combining fundamental and able to profit. In this case, you notice you could have got in around what? Let me look at the price there, around maybe 250 in here, and starting to take profit in here. So think about all the benefits that you can get being part of the agenda, being trained trader and trained investor for year 2021. So Lotte Chemical in right now, it's more a time to take profit, not so much for time to buy, okay, or to enter. All right, take note of the trade setup that we have inside there. I think it's also important. What we want to impact in our breakfast show is to show you how charts and news tend to not correlate, right? Always try to buy on bad news or on stage 1 accumulation in here, and we're going to show you some on our chart setup that we have over there. All right, let's move on to the US side now. Now the US, last night we did see the Dow Jones rise above the touching back to 34k in here, back to 34k on very good news. But the news of the interest rate that we've seen for the 10-year yield bond continued to rise, and such all the tech stock, despite what we saw on Apple releasing and Facebook are releasing profit EPS or profit earnings for the quarter due to the more sales of iPads and iPhones in here. So that tells you the sector are really moving well. A lot of the consumer electronics are doing well, and also the US FANGs are doing well. How would it fare in the coming months will be a lot based on the interest rate that we're seeing right now in here. So such that we'll continue to update you on our morning breakfast show. All right, so let's move on to our next talk here. Now, next talk is always something we continue to flash, is that we are still maintaining our 15.5% from January to April so far in here, and we have two stocks actually, Southern Steel and also M Cement on it. And how are we able to get into that is through the Pentagon guided portfolio strategy. And if you look back in 2020, the same kind of strategy, we are able to knock off 106.3% return on the back of 35,000 in here. And right now on the back of 31,000 is 15.5% return compared to KLSE -2. Now, why we're doing this is that we want to show you that if you follow a strategy of the Pentagon Guider and follow those fixed rules, which we already share with you also in our workshop that we normally do on a Wednesday. If not, check out our next workshop on the SMARTRobie apps in here. We'll continue to flash out and share with you all those very simple strategy that you're able to do and able to beat that kind of market. We want to see and also show you that anything is possible if you have an agenda of being trained trader and a trained investor. Now, look back to yourself. How well have you fared so much in your trading portfolio? All right, let's move on to our next story that we have, which is the past Leaderboard. That's right, past Leaderboard, BSLCorp, Amanda, SFL, Tasco, Samadan, and CL Holdings. These are the premium alert leaderboard that we have. And notice also the short burst. Most of these will tend to move very fast. And we're going to show you also the lesson learned that we have from 2 trade ideas that we have last week, which is the 23rd April, was Gets and Luxchem. Now, let's take a look at the first one that we have for you here. Right, it Gets, which is actually a green energy solution here. This was where it hit 23rd, so switching to an hourly chart, right? And you could see 23rd was around here, 10 o'clock, came back down, and then hit back up here again, and now still riding sideways here. I think with the green energy infrastructure in here, we have 4 upthrusts. So these 4 upthrusts are the resistant. But at one point of time, I do believe with this surge, there will be probability the takeout of these upthrust in here. Check it out right now. You can see low volume in here, not the problem. Okay, next we have is the Luxchem. Now Luxchem is also benefiting from the rubber glove because they continue to supply the chemicals to all the rubber glove. And you can see last week we were here 23rd, switching to hourly chart here. Right, and we were here somewhere around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock this time frame. It shot up to 7.9% return. It's the same kind of thing if you look at Top Glove. All right, whether they exhibit the same thing. Yep, you can see 23rd here, hit 27. All right, 27. And let's go back to Luxchem. Right, 27. 26, 27, it started to go down, all right? So 26, actually Luxchem hit the high even earlier than what it is in here, right? So it does have some sort of leading indicator for the rubber. But right now, we can see Luxchems are pushing back up in here. Would this be a sign of Top Glove recovering back in here? All right, let's take a look at this morning Top Glove again on the hourly chart. So for those of you who want to be very active, all right, definitely you want to subscribe to this plugin, and definitely our Combo Raya promotion will allow you to get the education and also the plugin package in here, to 2-in-1 in here. So right now, if you look at it, we have NS in here. This morning, the market opens up and sell back down in here. A lot of profit taking. Let's see if that also correlated to Hatalega, and usually they do. You see the same thing up. So there are a lot of profit taking in here. And if we switch to a daily chart, that is what's happening right now. There will be some support here at 1020 in here. And also we have a red Pentagon guider. All right, so red Pentagon guider, it's those of you who have take some partial profit in here, but it's also important. The 990 ATR stop loss should not be breached. Okay, so that is what we have by looking at Luxchem in here. So all in all, Luxchems are pulling big up. Will we see the Top Glove and also Hatalega and the rest of the rubber glove continue to do that too? All right, let's move on to our next section. Now, next section will be the premium alert. That's right, for this week, 30th of April, episode 64. We have Heptek. Let's take a look at Heptek right now on the daily chart. And how do you want to find that? Just go to LC Titan. Let me just show you here. And switching to wider chart, you can see this. Okay, and you can see on the premium alert, bottom left here, click that one, and you get this 7 very nice. And it changes every 30 minutes. It changes, and now you have a new stock list inside here. Very suitable for those of you who want to be more active trader, looking for the kind of stocks in here. So let's look at Heptek. Okay, Heptek Venture. Very nicely done. And if you had gone in during the green pentagon on the opening at 53 cents, right now it is pushing up 6% up. All right, Heptek in here, take out the old high, very nicely done. All right, that's the first one. And next we have is Heptek, and we're going to have BSLCorp. Again, is a steel company. Okay, so BSLCorp, it's a steel. So a lot of steels are doing well, and you can see this one is very nice. I just turned green pentagon in here and started to move up here. Just very similar to LC Titan. Okay, if you have gone in LC Titan, Lotte Chemical, follow the green pentagon where the opening in here, right? And let me just bring this up and show you. This is what's happening to LC Titan, and you'll be already 18% profit right now. All right, but do take note now you have this climatic volume in here. I'm not surprised if this market will start to move sideways, right, and start to take a little bit of profit. All right, always be careful of climatic volume. You can see the last one that they have with this VSI bar in here, market moves sideways. So it's always important. That's why this package, those of you who wanted it, part of our combo in here, you'll see this VSI bar in here, colored by the here. All right. So let's BSLCorp. Let's take a look at BSLCorp again. Okay, BSLCorp. So being a steel maker, this will definitely benefit from it. You notice what it does is that you can see climatic volume push up, distribute. Here we haven't seen any climatic volume yet. It will come soon, right? Could be that's the one that you want to take a little bit of profit going forward in here, but has turned green pentagon. We will come back and look at BSLCorp in here for a steel company here. All right, and the other one that we have, Southern Steel. Just now we saw 5% up. Let's take a look, see where it is. Maybe we're going to take profit very soon. Yep, that's nice. Right in here, we are just waiting to take our profit, and then we will roll on to the next stocks in here. That will increase, hopefully, our lead in our monthly portfolio that we've shown you also in there. All right, so that's the one that we're doing live trading to show you we trade as we go. Okay, let's move on to what we have for you next. Is definitely this setup that we always talk about, the premium alert setup that you've seen just now. Even for Southern Steel and Heptek, they want to follow a sideways accumulation in here, follow after that by a line change. And those of you who want to know more information, take a look at this QR code in here and do follow those Pentagon guided tutorial, a very short one. Of course, the more essence of what we teach definitely will be in our masterclass for the June intake here. Okay, and also next Wednesday, we have prepared another great talk for you to do what we call the right mindset and technique to success in the stock market, called left brain trading. So make sure you check us out again, 9:30, 5th of May, and do share in here. And not to forget, on this coming Tuesday will be our Warrant Tuesday, once a month Warrant Tuesday, with my co-host Mr. Leong coming in here, coming to you live at 3 p.m. on Tuesday in here. And also don't forget, this is our combo specials in here. We are opening for our June intake for 2021 in here. So right now we're going to be looking at the some of the stocks that you all generally, I want to take a look at it. If you have, let's take a look if I have any stocks that you want me to see, or maybe you are quite kind of happy where you are. Okay, so so far no stocks to look at. Okay, we'll look at Lai. Okay, Lai Kok Fong, SCGM. Okay, SCG. Okay, let me get that right. SCG Berhad. Okay, Southern Cable. Okay, Southern Cable, no problem now. You can see long period congestion in here. The volumes are, no doubt you got climatic volume, right? But this volume in here continued to be higher. I think this one is also, there was some news about this, again, going back to, I think it will be related more to the growth that we saw in cement, construction, steel. So cables is just part and parcel of the growth that we've seen here. Okay, Miss Lee here wanted me to look at the HiapTek. Okay, HiapTek, nice breakout. The market usually, when you see climatic volume, this one is okay. Unlike what we saw in LC Titan, it has gone up middle of stage 2. And then when you see climatic volume, then you get into some sort of okay, K-Power. Miss Lee also say K-Power, nicely done. It's just a matter of time before we take out this UT in here. All right, you can see volumes are low, push up. Right, and they got continual volume in here. That's nicely done in here. Honga one, we look at Kihin, KHIND. All right, and this one again, this is going to be a double top in here. It would likely to come a bit off on the pullback before it break up. So I would expect another 2 or 3 more weeks before the Kihin will move up here. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other section in here. All right, we got the Migu. Okay, Migu is IJM. All right, now this IJM still looks okay, but just be careful of the ATR stop loss. Now, for those of you who like to want us to give you a review, do go over, and if you're happy with our services, do go over to the Google Play Store and give us feedback, whether it's good, bad, or so whatsoever. So we continue, and we will give you the first preference to look at your stocks. And some of the members that I've just reviewed those stocks, they are our members, and also we have review in here, and people like Bernard, Simon, Happy, they will always get our first preference in here. Okay, that's right. Okay, so that's all we have for today in here. So continue to spend your time on this so-called slower week that we have in here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing this video in your timeline. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, right? And every Wednesday, we'll be doing a new show for you, which is our live FB in here. And all those videos will be archived in our YouTube. And don't forget, if you're first time, do join our Telegram chat room in here to get all those information updated here. And for those of you who want me to review your stock on next Monday, just go over to our Google Play Store and Apple Play Store and give us a feedback. When I come across your name, you'll be get the first preference. So thank you again, and thank you for your support in here. Martin Wong signing out. Bye-bye.